Now, just one thing about this guard dog idea that so many people have here in Hungary, or it's actually an absolute staple here. This is just something that people will just come up with, and this is just they just treat this as an absolute truth and like the absolute argument that cannot be refuted. You know that why do you actually have a dog? Why did you get a dog? What is the point? Then they just look at you in a really puzzled way and say, "Well, it's a guard dog. I mean, everybody has one. You know, it's like asking somebody like, why do you have a fridge? I say, well, I mean, it's logical. Of course, you have one. I mean, it's just you need it, yeah. And that's exactly the way people consider the guard dogs here. Now, the thing is, with these so-called guard dogs, what people do here is that they just get a dog and throw it in the garden or in the yard, and then just leave it leave the dog to it. You know, they're not training it, they're not interacting with the dog, they're not teaching it anything. The dog is just by itself, totally bored, going totally mental, and then what happens is yeah, that they just go crazy, and at some point they're so mentally damaged that they're just going to bark at absolutely everything and anything. And then people think these low IQ dog owners, they think, yeah, okay, like this is the objective, you know, that now we have actually achieved our goal, and this animal is so destroyed now that it is just going to function as an alarm system. Like as soon as you have a little bit of wind, and the wind is shaking the leaves or the branches, then the dog is going off already, like some mental case. Now, tell me exactly how exactly is that being a guard dog? Like it's just barking all the time. It's just barking at everything and anything. Now, if there really was a burglary in your house now, what exactly is the dog going to do? Well, it's going to bark just as it does all day long anyway. So how do you know then that this barking suddenly is important and the other barking wasn't? Because like most dog owners, they're already deaf to their dog's barking anyway, because it's going on all day long, and for most also all night long. So there's absolutely no point in this. And you know, there's one thing that people say, and that is that, yeah, you know, it's not about the barking, but you know, the dog would attack somebody if they actually entered the property, or if they trespassed into the property. Now, of course, that is a valid point. Yeah, that is a valid point. But I mean, it would still not justify the barking that's going on. So basically, the barking is that's basically the that means admitting that the barking is completely pointless anyway. Yeah, what we've been saying for decades here. But yeah, the barking is so important, as the lawyer said in my other video. So okay, let's look at this kind of at this argument about the dog attacking. Yeah, now if you look at reality, how the burglaries play out, that's usually actually not what happens. Like what happens in reality is that burglars, they know exactly where they have to break in. And it is interesting that they usually pick houses where they actually have a dog. And I mean, you might wonder why, but if you think about it, it makes total sense. Like if somebody has a dog, then you can probably take it for granted that they have a dog because, yeah, they also have some kind of valuables in the house that need protection, or at least in their minds, they need protection. So If I was a burglar, I would also break into a house that actually has a dog, because then there's a high chance that it will actually be worth it to break in. Now, to get rid of those dogs, it's so absolutely easy, and that's what the burglars here do. They just throw them a piece of poisoned meat or a poisoned sausage, uh, wait half an hour, and then the animal's dead anyway. And they can break in uh, without any major problems. So again, the point of the dog is defeated, is absolutely defeated. So if you want a guard dog, and that is the thing that people here don't understand, if you want to have a guard dog, you can have a guard dog, of course, but that means uh, if you want a dog to really be able to do that, that needs extensive training. Yeah, you have to teach your dog certain things so that you can really use it as a guard dog. It's not enough to just get a dog and throw it in the yard and then not do anything with it. That's not going to get you a guard dog. So you need to train it, you need to teach it stuff, and the first thing you would have to teach it is that it is not supposed to bark at absolutely everything and anything, because that just totally defeats the purpose. And secondly, you would have to teach it not to accept food or any treats from strangers, which none of the people here teach their dogs. You can go to any dog here and throw it any sort of food, and all of them are just going to gobble it up. Like, it's so easy to, or it would be so easy to, for burglars to just poison them. Or even you don't even have to poison them. You can give them tranquilizers, so that they will just fall asleep for 5 hours or so. And then you can just break in. It's no problem. But like, these owners, they just don't get this. Like, they're such unbelievably moronic, low IQ individuals that they just don't think the thing through at all. Like, they have no bloody idea what they're doing, and they're absolutely convinced that, now that they have their, this barking German Shepherd, or that bulldog in or Doberman in their yard, and how they feel really safe at home. Like, that's just so unbelievably stupid. And like, these people are so incompetent, it's just absolutely staggering. It's absolutely staggering. And they have all these dogs, and we have to listen to the bloody barking, for, not just weeks or months. It has been going on for decades. It has been going on for decades. And if somewhere there is a burglary, you just hear the same story all the time, that the dog was actually not able to prevent it. Like, because first it got killed before the burglary, or there was another burglar who just kind of held the dog down, and while his colleague was just robbing the place. So they're just bloody pointless. And so that defeats their purpose completely. And it also means that the barking that everybody has to listen to now, because all these people are so like little scared puppies, that they think everybody's just waiting to break into their palace. And like, everybody has to listen to this nonsense now. It's just unbelievable. My God, it pisses me off.